Hello everybody, my name is Kiklin and welcome to the round 4 of the RRL League Racing Championship. This is something that I haven't done yet and I'm very excited. So for this series I will be driving for the T2 Red Bull Racing team. I had a choice between Red Bull and Alfa Romeo, but I chose RB because it's a really famous team and I want to try winning in the championship like Vettel did. I'm really excited to see how this season will go forward, and I'm also really sorry for my bad English because I'm a Croat and I still need to learn some stuff. And if you're wondering, here are the assists. If anyone wants to know what I'm using, we have ABS, traction control medium, racing line set to corners only, gearbox, manual, and all the ERS bit and the DRS and fuel assists are turned off. And I want to thank the owners of the RRL League for letting me race in the championship. I thought that I didn't have any chance to join, but it's been really nice meeting all the people in the league and racing with them. If you want to see the previous races, please go to YeCrazy's Twitch. It will be in the description. But without further ado, let's go to the race. So here we are in the pit lane, and first things first, we are going to apply the setup and run a lap on medium tires. I want to see what kind of pace we have with these tires before we settle up on softs. We're going to wait just a bit to see what kind of weather awaits us in this session, because it often rains in China and I'm very happy that it's not, because I didn't practice in the wet. So we are heading out of the pit lane to start our first lap of the session. I don't think that lap time that we're going to go to get is going to be very competitive, because Delta said that the softs were almost 2 seconds faster than the mediums, but it's nice to try them and see what pace we're going to have in the race. So now we started our first lap on this track, and right off the bat we go a little wide on the final corner, but luckily the lap wasn't invalidated. We don't have a lot of ERS left in the car, so that is going to be a small issue. Through these first 4 corners, I'm not really that fast. I stay in 3rd gear through the 2nd corner and then go to 2nd gear in the 3rd corner. And yes, I'm reading on the wiki corner numbers because I don't know them. Please don't judge me. The 6th corner, which is coming right up, I always go too deep and mess it up. But I go to 2nd gear just to get that little more rotation and acceleration. The 7th corner is almost flat out, but lift off just a bit because of my setup. My car likes to oversteer, so I don't want to ruin my race and lift off for 2 milliseconds. Through the 11th corner I go to 2nd gear and to get more rotation, but because of that my car likes to oversteer and I usually mess that corner up. And the snail section, which is coming right up, is almost flat out, just a little less throttle on the entry of the corner, and somehow I know only this corner. Very nice. And I really need to get a better microphone because this one is not so good, and you can hear that right now. It's like buzzing in the background. So brake as late as you can for the 14th corner, and I usually like to enter it with 2nd gear, but you can also do it in 1st gear. Ride the curbs here to get a perfect amount of rotation for the final corner and cross the finish line. And we set a lap time of 1:31.6. That's a really good lap time for the medium tires, and compared to 1:31.3 from Jimsy on soft tires, I think that is a fantastic lap. How am I so close to him? I am amazed. I don't know. And now we're going to put some soft tires on our car and start the next final lap. Looks like there's an incident on track in the first sector, and it's a Ferrari which looks like it spun and tried to return on the track, but Williams just hits the Ferrari. That is most definitely the Ferrari's fault. The Williams didn't have time to avoid the Ferrari. Here is the last sector of the next lap. I didn't want to show you what you already saw previously because I think that would be boring to watch. So we're just going to see the time that we're about to set. Running a bit wide, and the time is a 1:30.222. That is a 1.5 seconds faster, but Lex has a time of 1:29.774. I don't think that we're going to beat that. Back at the garage to apply new soft tires and try to beat Lex's time, although it might be impossible. This lap I'm going to be quiet and let you listen and see the horrific lap that is about to happen. And I just want to say that I'm really sorry about my accent, if anyone gets offended by that. And to the final corner, right in the cup as I said, and this is a beautiful line to the finish. This is going to be a lap time of 1:30.034, just 3/10 off of Lex's time. This was an intense qualifying session with Lex on pole, us in second, and Jimsy in third. And here we are at the start line. Formation lap is turned off. Now for the strategy, I tried to see if the mediums would make it to the end, and I would try to stretch them to the end. But if that didn't work, I would gladly go to softs again and do a 2-stop. It would be a struggle, but I think that we have a slight chance to win. If nothing bad happens on the first lap, which for me it does. 1 lap plus of fuel because I waste a lot of it. Let's start this race. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. This is not a bad start, but after we deploy some ERS we get in front of Lex and we have the lead from the start. Something bad is going to happen because it always does with me racing. And somehow we collide with Lex, and I don't know how, and that's quite a strange warning because I didn't do anything. Maybe I forced Lex wide and we collided? I don't know. I don't have a keybind set to look backwards, but I heard if you look backwards from time to time you lose your momentum and pace because you don't focus on the racing line, you focus on the driver behind you. Maybe that's why I'm fast, I don't know. Looks like we're already 5/10 ahead of Lex. Looks like Lex doesn't quite have the pace yet as we missed the apex on the 8th corner and run wide because of the cold tires, but I managed not to crash it or spin it, which is really surprising for myself. We're seriously gaining time on the guys behind us. They probably had a worse start than us, which is perfect because we can run a nice race up front. Looks like Chimsy already passed Lex. Lex doesn't have the pace at the beginning.
Let's see here, we are already seeing that Kirkland is pulling away a little bit, Jimsy barely keeping in the DRS here for the next coming laps.
And that is correct. We gain a lot of time every lap, and looks like at the beginning is not very good for a lot of drivers, but luckily we have stormed through and set 2 fastest laps. On lap 3 we are still ahead of Jimsy as we run a bit wider there in the final corner, but we haven't spun yet. It looks like we have amazing pace in these beginning laps as we, on lap 6, are going to stop for medium tires and try to get to the end. Before we enter the pit lane we are ahead of Jimsy by 4 seconds. That is amazing. We slow down for the pit lane entrance and brake a bit early to try not to get a drive-through penalty. Looks like Jimsy follows us in the pit lane, so I have to gain some time in the pits, but Red Bull's guys are extremely fast, so a 2.6. That is not bad at all, and Jimsy goes on hard tires, so he's going to the end on those tires, and we're going to have some traffic this lap because no mixing passes us. But with fresh tires I hope we can get past him and easily make a bigger gap from us to Jimsy. And the same lap we're already really close to no mixing, just 1.3 seconds behind him, so we're not going to have DRS this lap. But maybe on the start finish straight I can pass him? releasing all of our ERS and putting the fuel mix to rich. We are extremely faster than Nomixium in the straight line, but it's not going to be enough to pass him. I'm not going to dive bomb him because I'm really far away and I don't wanna end our race. And he runs wide in the hairpin, so we have a chance to pass him, and we go side by side and he lets us through. He probably knows that I'm faster, so there is no point in fighting. Thank you, Nomixium, I really appreciate it. The next lap we're already almost 8 seconds ahead of Jimsy, and on lap 9 we see that my tires are already on 12%. That was unexpected, but that means that we're going to need to stop for softs on the final laps of the race, so my objective is to get as far away from Jimsy. On lap 14 we actually have a VSC, so now I can save a bit of ERS and fuel because I already wasted a lot of it. And as you can see, we're already 13 seconds ahead of Jimsy, so we gained 3 seconds on the VSC alone. But we're about to lose those 3 seconds as we get an awful restart. You can see how slow I'm going in this snail section, and when the VSC ends I don't have the speed to leave the guys behind me, so we lose a lot of time on that restart. Just look at the chart at the left up corner. The time is dropping by a serious mile. Throughout the laps I haven't gained any time on Jimsy, but 11 seconds is still a good time. And this lap we actually go in the pits for soft tires.
Kirklin now went into the pits and has lost 3 positions. Should have lost. No, just out ahead of Lex and Rosu. Rosu on the back of Lex now. They have switched positions. Kirklin now has to try to get in to gain 10 seconds on a 14-year-old Hards from Jimsy. This is going to be hella exciting, I can tell you.
And it was a freaking stressful final laps because I had to gain 10 seconds in 7 laps, but lap after lap we came close to him and set the fastest lap on lap 24, and we're already 5 seconds behind him. The next lap we're already 3 seconds behind of Jimsy.
He knew what happened. Down the straight is not that big of a difference. It's gonna be this in the corner. Look at how much time Kirklin is gonna gain. It's almost at 2/10 there. And then another one here. He goes a little bit wide, but still within the DRS zone here, and is going to catch him. Just half a second off now. Hopefully there will be no incidents here with the pass that's going to happen in just a couple of minutes here now. Possibly even down this short straight. Not going to be enough. Not going to have enough ERS, unfortunately. Right up his gearbox now. This is going to happen. Down this back straight most likely. He can afford to wait. He does not have to stress it. He has 2 laps left. Goes a little bit wide there, which loses the exit, and is not gonna have the overspeed to be able to catch him here. However, through this snaky little bit, this is going to be the doom of Jimsy. There the pass goes.
And as you just saw, we actually pass him on lap 26 on the straight with no ERS remaining, and he actually doesn't fight back. We got a lot of OST and almost spin just after passing Jimsy, and if you paid attention you could see that I haven't done that big of a mistake the entire race, so stress was consuming me this final 3 laps. I got a corner just a bit to secure the position and gain just a bit of time on Jimsy, and looks like he cannot pass us even with DRS, so we have pole position. On the straight we are already 1 second ahead of it, but my tires are already at 50%. That is not good. That is why I haven't gotten away from Jimsy as I did previously, so I lost a lot of time because of the tires. Looks like I was pushing too much. but on the final lap we remain in the pole position. We just have to pass through these corners nice and carefully so we don't bottle it in the final few corners, but we don't mess up, and this corner goes really easily, and this is my first win in the RRL League Racing Championship. I am extremely happy about that win. That is a fantastic race. And these are the standings for the race. We came in first place, Jimsy second and Lex third. Looks like Lex didn't have the race he wanted, but at least my legs were on fire. Please don't unsubscribe, I'm really sorry about that one. Anyway, I'm gonna put the interview right now. I hope you have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video.
Hello, Kirklin.
Hello.
Well raced, my man. Well raced. Was beautiful to see. So, I just want your thoughts on the race a little bit. So why don't you just start off about telling us who are not as good as you how you thought going into the race and going into the quali?
Well, I think I'm sorry. I'm really happy right now.
It's all good. It's all good. You did a good race. I loved your strategy. It was very nice, and you really pulled it off in the last laps there, putting on the softs. It was very nice to see. I could start to ask you some questions if you feel more comfortable with that.
Sure.
So, you decided to stretch the mediums a little bit in the second stint there. Then going on to the softs again. Was this the thoughts? Was this the strategy that you and Goose made up? No, not Goose. Was this the strategy that you wanted to go for at the start of the race, or did you manage to change it in the middle?
At the qualifying session, I thought about making a one-stop or a two-stop, and then I thought about me getting the fastest lap at the end, so I tried a two-stop.
Okay, so you wanted to do the one-stop first of all?
Yes.
So the one-stop was going to be a soft to medium try?
Yes, but
right.
I couldn't stretch the tires, so I pitted for softs and caught the fastest lap.
Very well raced. And what's your thought on the quali? You managed to grasp P2, I believe it was, right?
Yes.
Yes. Were you worried at all if Lex were going to manage to try to stay away from you?
Actually, yes. Seeing his qualifying pace, I thought that in the race he would leave us all in the dust, in his rear view mirror, but I got surprised.
Yeah. You had the strategy to pull it off, so it was very well raised here. Let's see, and on the softs, when you pit for the softs the second time, were you worried at all that you wouldn't catch the Merc?
I was, but seeing my pace and his pace at the qualifying session, I thought that maybe I could have a chance. But then when I got close to him, my tires started to wear out a lot.
All right.
So I was a bit worried. And then when I passed him, I couldn't get away from the 2-second gap. So I was a bit worried right there at the end.
Yeah, I understand. But you did an overall very nice race. I always love to see you race. You have such an incredible pace when racing, and I hope to see you in Tier 1 racing next season.
Thank you.
Well raced.
Thank you.
That's it for me.
Was this me, or was it just a dream?